Okay, greetings everyone. Welcome to Gerard Black in the Philippines with the truth. I want to welcome you to my channel, all my subscribers, all my lovers, haters, scallywags, triggers, peaches, commenters, and scallywags. Each and every one of you, I want to welcome you to my channel, and I want to welcome you to my home. Today I'm here and I have some special guests came by. Mo, who you've seen her on my channel before. She's for Bernie, who is from Italy, who just recently came, and we're just going to have a dialogue. So first thing what we're going to start is, Mo, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a digital artist and experimenter, and
You got to talk louder because the traffic's behind them.
I'm a digital artist and an experimenter, and I do crypto art, and at the same time buy and sell and trade digital art on blockchain.
Wait. Okay, Mo was telling us a little bit about herself before I stopped it and added a mic so this we can hear us because the traffic is behind Raphael. Mo, so again, tell us about yourself.
I'm a digital artist and videographer, video editor, post-production specialist, but retired. Or I'd like to imagine I'm retired.
Oh, yeah. I like to imagine I'm retired.
Because sometimes I still accept stuff when it's
okay.
from recommendations or friends.
Okay, so where are you from?
Manila.
Manila, okay.
Project 6, Quezon City.
And this is the first time you've been to Dumaguete this time around?
It's my second time, but my first time was 2008 and it was a bit hazy.
You know what that means, right? It was in the fog. Okay, and how are you going to be with us now? Or are you thinking about moving to Dumaguete?
I'm not sure. We might transfer. We might travel to Cebu because it will depend on what Bernie wants to do because it's his first time in the Philippines. So, yeah. But in general, what I do is right now, I buy, sell, and trade artworks, digital artworks that are on chain.
Okay.
On the blockchain.
Okay.
Different kinds of blockchain, many kinds of blockchain.
Okay. Okay, Bernie, tell us about where are you from, Bernie?
Ciao. I'm from North Italy, between Milan and Venice, and from the mountains, the lakes, and but the sea is in my heart. When I see the sea, I imagine to be on the top of the mountain because there is a change of state, and everywhere there's the sea, there's some piece of my art. And the first time in the Philippines, I do pretty much. I'm a colleague of Mo, but in a little scale because she's a great artist. I just been lucky to be in the right place, right time, back in time, and I'm a geek. Well, I always fiddle around with technology since I'm 6 years old, and so I discovered blockchain like 10 years ago, bit more, and I suddenly fell in love with the possibility of reproducing real objects inside the computer with the security of being like unique and tradable, and that's it. Basically, now I'm kind of traveling the world, and I'm here the first time in the Philippines, and I'm very, very surprised, and it's an amazing place with amazing people, with amazing heart, and they always smile, and they never think like bad about anything in their face, and then I like to hug them and give them five and punch them on like a brother, and that's it. I hope I'm gonna stay here a little bit more, and then I'm gonna go back to my great life there in Europe, where everything is like sectorized, like pre-built, and I will keep a very, very good remembrance of these places where fantasy is still leading the way people live, as it should be, and I hope we're gonna be back.
Well, it's interesting. Bernie said that he's a geek. And there was years ago, that if you were a geek in school, you got beat up. You know, it just so happens that now geeks are running the world.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that he was called proud. I'm a geek. I'm so
Yes,
proud.
exactly.
You know, Bernie and I have had a lot of interesting conversations since we've been here. You know, he's very knowledgeable. You know, and I spoke about it a lot of times that I enjoy talking to foreigners because often the time foreigners are a lot more knowledgeable than I am about the world, a lot more educated than I am, and it's always fascinating to hear history from someone who is studying it. So everywhere I go and I talk to people, you know, it's like going to school. And we even talked about, about black. He's told me some things about being black and all that stuff. So it's very interesting. So Bernie, so what are some of the things that you find different, worldly wise, as far as like the Philippines and some of the other places you've been?
Well, why no is that we live in a projection made by media, and the projection it tries to convey our reality into something which is most likely not, and all the lies in the history books, and they just like corroborated by school and education, and we go farther and farther from what it was. And what I can tell is that there is a principle that is ruling the world, and is that the last will be the first. And we see,
Tell us about that story.
and we see
about
now.
about the crown and all that stuff.
Yeah, we see now by my researches up to the 50th century, all the kings of Europe, which was the only part that it was known in the world and described by writings, they were black people. And then one day they received like a message from who knows, but who wants to know, he can dig a little bit and get to know it pretty much. They received a message that says like, remember my dear that the last will be the first. So the black king in Germany, Sweden, in Russia, in Italy took his crown and he gave it to the first white person coming along, because the last will be the first. If you are the first, you're gonna be battered by the judgment of the Father at some point. So you have to be humble. You have to be humble. You don't have to create hierarchies that puts you above others. And actually, the counterpart, the white people, if you want, they fell in a trap. And now we see like Europe, which I always say that is like a kind of center of civilization. Europe is on the brink of total collapse and losing the narrative that brings like us in the center of the world. And we see that European citizens are forced out from their houses with laws, okay, and they're forced to have like less children, and they're forced to live in ways which are totally against the supremacy that they think they are. So we should live more horizontally, and we should understand. I don't say we need a war, because the war is coming along, even if we don't want it. Nobody wants it. But if there is a war, it should be a vertical war against the powers that they crush us down, not again an horizontal one. Because if we leave another horizontal one, only good people gonna perish and they're gonna die. Okay, so we're gonna have to find the strength to individuate who wants us to be separated from our destiny.
Well, it was interesting. I was speaking to Bernie, and I was telling him how, like, with countries, like Germany, the people are known as Germans. In Russia, the people are known as Russians. The Japanese, in Japan, they're known as Japanese. And in China, they're known as Chinese. And so I went down the list of different countries, how the people are identified as the country that they are from. But in America, we're known as Negroes or Black Americans. There's no country known as Negro, or Black American country. And we talked about. I told him I saw this thing about with the Indians, where the Indians, were actually black, And then you told me a story. What happened with the judge, or what happened?
The Indians basically, they come from Asia, from Mongolia and all the places where the sun make the rice like almond eyes. So these people, they're considered Native American. They are not Native Americans. The real Native Americans are black people, the ones that they call themselves Afro Americans. They are not Afro Americans. Afro Americans is a label that the system put on them to push them down and to make them think that they are foreigners in their own country. In courtrooms, in front of judges, where a Moor present himself as a Native American, the judge raises an accusation over him, and the guy says, "Look, I do not recognize you. You can please give me the priority because my people were here before you." And the judge closes the book and says, "Case closed." You can check it on YouTube. It's plenty. Okay, that means that the law that they created to push people down stands of principles. They are not human. They're from above, and they have to surrender to them. They just try to scare off people to accept their judgment. And in some cases, if you know the truth, you can tell them, "Look, judge, can you please leave room to So until there's gonna be this like culture that is based on keeping the adult people childish and independent from the system. There's no way out. If we take our responsibility and study the roots of what really happened, we can really set ourselves free. Saying that the truth will set you free is not an empty like slogan, because the truth is the way that you can choose good from evil. So the truth will set you free to choose.
Wow, wow, that's so true. We were talking about something, but Mo, tell us about you. Do you know much about the history here in the Philippines?
I know we've been conquered a lot
Yeah,
by
you
a
have
lot
been. Colonizers.
colonizers
Yeah,
like Spanish, American,
Japan.
Japanese.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, and you were raped by Japan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I was telling Bernie that there's a video going around with Trump, who is running for the president of the United States, and he was talking about Native Americans, and he had said that he was pointing to someone. He said they're not Native Americans. Look at them; they don't look like Native Americans. They don't look like Indians. And he said you have to test their blood, to see if they're Native American or something. And it's just how the insanity of that statement that he feels that he can look at someone and determine if they are Indian or not is just absurd. But anyway, before we go, Mo, what advice would you give someone about following their dreams and their goals?
um, just you have to be happy and like what you do. If you love and like what you're doing, even if it sometimes is very difficult and like doesn't have money, like people would say, "Oh, you're not earning from that, stop doing that." If you keep doing it, there's something in some ways, some synchronicity or whatever would come. And if you know what you need and what you want, it will come. It doesn't have to be through money or anything.
Okay, okay. Just stick with it and love what you do and do what you love.
Yes.
Okay, Bernie, what advice would you give someone about following their dream and their goal?
The advice it would be to obey to only one law, which is not an invitation to disobey the general mankind law. The law is don't do unto others. and all the other laws and regulation, they come from this. Very important. If you feel that you are doing to somebody something that you wouldn't like to receive, okay, you are against the law. Just do to others what you want others to do to you, and slowly, when everything will align and is like and the scam will get wiped away, yeah, we will possibly create a better world. And related to what you like to do in life, as she says perfectly, the money is not the only parameter. Money will come to you if you really do what you like to do and you obey the law, you respect life, and don't do unto others.
Very good, very good. You know, often the time I don't get a chance to answer my own question. What advice would I give? And my advice would be to always have a plan. You know, when you wake up in the morning, have a plan of what you're going to do. I don't care if your plan is to take out the garbage. I don't care if your plan is to call your grandmother. I don't care if your plan is to complete the project you're working on. Is to always have a plan. You may not accomplish all your plans, but the fact that you have a plan and you do accomplish, that sets the groundwork for you to accomplish those bigger plans that you have in store for you. Okay, so thank you. You're watching Gerard Black in the Philippines with the truth. Remember, dreams are nothing more than plans awaiting action. Never disrespect the elderly, always pull someone up. And sometimes you're the only one. You may be the only one who can see your vision. And the best revenge in life is to live good. Are we living good today?
Yes,
Perfect.
very much. Thank you very much.
Paradise.
And we hope you are too. And if you're lucky enough to have a woman like Ali Woodson, formerly singing the Temptation One song, treat her like a lady. And ladies, if you're lucky enough to have a good man like Bernie and I, make us feel like a king. And what?
Yabba dabba doo.
Never say no.
I love it when I teach it. We want to thank Raphael, my son, who's working the camera.
We
Say hello,
love
Raphael. Okay, so thanks for joining me. I love you
you,
like a
Raphael.
love song. Can we throw him a kiss? Mwah.
Mwah.
Peace.